Hey everyone, it's been a few weeks. Life's been a bit crazy. Anyway, today we're going to be camping in my backyard again. This is a different spot within the rainforest. That cave area we did a few weeks ago was over that way, about 15 minutes. And this is the main kind of base camp that I've built up. So it's a really nice flat open area, plenty of room for bushcraft or whatever you want to do down here. So I've actually been doing a lot of cowboy camping off camera recently. And for those who don't know, cowboy camping is where you put your sleeping mat and your sleeping bag on the floor and sleep. That's all you have. So there's nothing to separate you from the bugs and the snakes and spiders and whatever. And I'm quite happy with how it's been going. I got used to it quite quickly. However, today is going to be a very different story because we're in a rainforest and it's been raining, so there's going to be leeches everywhere. So if I do that, I need to be prepared to wake up with a leech stuck to my eye or something like that. And so to avoid that, the challenge I've set for myself is I need to build a raised log bed. And while that won't make me immune to leeches, it will certainly give me a bit of a barrier from the floor. So I really need to get cracking on a few of these things. Yeah, not sure how this setup is going to go. This might be miserable. It's been cloudy all day and this huge ray of light has just started shining through the valley. That looks incredible. And just behind me too, you can see it hitting all over the side of the mountain. Then you can see it hitting up inside the cave, and then it's bouncing off the cave floor onto the roof. Oh dear, why am I doing this? Now I need to cut up a bunch of logs about that wide and then just stack them all the way along, then the sleeping pad on top and then the sleeping bag. I'm really tossing up whether I set up the tarp tonight. I actually just picked up an Out and sleeping bag and I've had my eye on it for the past year, so I'm so happy to have it. Out and sleeping bags are extremely water resistant. They have a video on their channel of the owner in the sleeping bag and he gets drenched with a hose for like 30 minutes and nothing gets through. I know I can take a beating in that thing. It's just whether or not I want the comfort. Well, currently I have enough for a overkill seat. Let's see if this collapses in its seat phase. I doubt it's going to hold me up in its bed phase. Wow. That is probably the most satisfying sit I've ever had while camping. Knowing that I put every piece of this together and now it houses my arse for a comfortable sit. That's special. Okay, well, I am very happy with my seat, but this has to be a bed, so onward. This is taking a very long time and I'm wondering whether or not I can spread out the branches. If I spread them out, roughly speaking, I could probably be finished. Maybe I should lie on it and just see what happens. Because this would save me a lot of time if I can just do it like this. Okay. Oh dear. That's wiggling so much. Do I trust this? Okay, so I mean, that works. It's mainly this wobble that I'm worried about. I've never slept in a primitive bed, so maybe they all wobble. It's very awkward getting off of it though. Okay, that's definitely too thin to use. Why am I using that? I added some more branches to fill in the gaps so it's a bit more strong. I think now I'm going to spread a very thin layer of fern across the top just to save me from potentially puncturing my sleeping mat. Look at that. That's really cool. Hopefully this holds up and doesn't collapse in the middle of the night. Really comfy. So this is my brand new out and sleeping bag. It's a -5 and I think it weighs 1 kilo. So this is quite the upgrade for me. So you can see it's got this kind of puffy visor running around the head area so that at night time if it rubs up against your face it's not uncomfortable. And so for cowboy camping during the day you just cinch up the hood like this, and then no bugs are going to get in during the day, and then you just release that when you're getting into bed at night. Since that secret waterfall video where I drank potentially contaminated water from the waterfall, I had a bunch of comments saying that I should get myself a water purifier, and I didn't have one at the time because I thought they were like $200 or $300, but turns out this one's only like 30 bucks. About 8 months back, I really got into this channel called Outdoor Boys, and it's this dad that brings out his kids camping and he builds these really elaborate kind of bushcraft shelters and beds and chairs and all kinds of things. And that's what really inspired me to try and get this structure built today. I've been wanting to do it ever since I discovered this channel, but I just haven't had the time or a location to do it in. In a world where pretty much everything is done for you nowadays, you know, people provide us with meat, people provide us with houses and furniture and literally anything we use in life. And to actually build something, however simple it is, however stupid it looks, this is a bed that I made, and that's something to be proud of. And I just think that by appreciating simple little achievements like this, you know, you'll enjoy life a lot more. This huge landslide in the valley is where I got the majority of the wood for that bed. It's just wiped out everything in its path. I'm going to try and salvage some of the trees that have fallen and see if I can get a fire going. But if not, I won't be too disappointed. Oh, too much wood. I don't want to have to chop all this up. For these larger pieces, I'm just going to cut them into half, and then what I'll do is I'll slowly feed them onto the fire at one end. That's the one advantage of having a fire in the bush as opposed to in your fireplace at home. You can deal with them being very long, you don't have to make them all neat. I'm yet to fix my ferro rods, so today we're just going to be using some matches. I guess it's time to just bust out the toilet paper and use that as a proper fire starter. finally, with enough flame, it's starting to catch on to all the wet stuff. But while it may look good right now, all this kindling can burn away in 5 minutes and none of the big wood will catch, and then I'm back to square one with nothing. So I can't get too excited. My kindling is pretty much all burnt away now and it's just the logs, so I think I'm safe. It's gonna be really pretty tonight because of the full moon. Above my head actually, there's kind of a few breaks in the canopy, and so I might get some moonlight streaming right down onto my face. I can't recommend cowboy camping enough like this. I was absolutely terrified for this entire year to do it, and it was actually my New Year's resolution was to cowboy camp this year. And I did a hike recently. It was a 4-day hike, and on the first day we finally got to our campsite and I was absolutely battered and I couldn't be bothered setting up my mosquito net and all these other different things, and so I literally just threw my sleeping pad on the floor, put a tarp over me and slept. And I was too tired to be nervous or overthinking, could a snake come near me or something like that. You just suck it up and force yourself to do it, and it's really not that bad. The most terrifying thing that's happened to me whilst cowboy camping is I had a little ant wander across my face, and that was it. I haven't put out too many videos lately because I've been too busy running around and preparing to start editing a TV show. And once I start working on the show, that's going to be upwards of 10 weeks of continuous editing without being able to really leave the house. So it's going to be interesting to see how I go with such a high concentration of work, because my philosophy has a heavy focus on work-life balance, and which I generally get to do that. But this will completely come in and stomp that philosophy into the floor, and I will be working my ass off to try and get this stuff done. All that talking and I have lost my fire pretty much. Ravioli for dinner. I am absolutely starving. I think I'm just gonna have some snacks, listen to some music, and then I'll sit in bed until hopefully the glowworms come out. And if they don't, then I'll see you in the morning.
Good morning. Just woke up and it is absolutely freezing down here. The sleep was amazing last night. It wobbles a lot, and I think that's what a lot of the fear comes from. I had the same kind of feeling when I first got into hammock camping. Every time it wobbled, my legs would kind of try to counteract the balance, and I'd end up just shaking vigorously. And I kind of did the same thing in this, but I just realized there's nothing you can do. It wobbles. Man, it was so cool being up on a bed in the bush. It was so cool. I was wondering where the moon was all night. I woke up at midnight eventually, and the full moon was directly above my head. It was so bright. The whole place was just lit up by this kind of cool blue light. And you could basically go for a walk in the jungle and you'd be able to see where you're going. It was awesome. There was glowworms. As I was going to bed, I couldn't see any glowworms. So I kept my camera close to the bed because I thought, I'll get up in the middle of the night and take photos if I see them. I woke up at maybe 10:30, 11, and I saw glowworms all around me. I was like, whoa! But I was so tired that I just I set up the camera from in bed, just chucked it at a random angle, and then pressed the long exposure button, then just fell back to sleep. So there's probably some random garbage on the camera. I don't know what I took. Hopefully it's something remotely cool. If not, I've broken my second promise of showing you cool glowworms, and I'm going to have to properly do it the next time I come down here. Well, I'm really cold and I want a coffee. And I actually have a new coffee to try today, but I cannot get a fire going in this area. It's just too tricky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pack up everything. We'll start walking up the valley, and then once we get to the white gum section where everything's a bit more dry, we'll start up a little fire, have breakfast, and then probably wrap things up after that.
I just noticed there's a huge patch of mushrooms growing on this log right next to camp. That's awesome. So this is where I hoped I'd be able to get a fire going pretty easily. This is where I did my review of all my out-and products, and I've camped here a couple of times. It's like a little base camp for me. There's a fire pit just there. So yeah, I'll see if I can get a fire going, brew up a coffee, review said coffee, and then we'll wrap it up, I think. Look at that, just immediate fire. The things you take for granted. So on one of my recent videos, a lady commented saying that I should try a coffee by a group called The Gums, and they're an Australian brand, as you can probably tell, and they actually give out really cheap samples. So you can, I think it's roughly $5. You can get a medium roast and a dark roast sent to you with free shipping. So that's what I've got today. So I've just got little drip filters, and you can see I've got a cute little gum leaf design, little gum people with eyes and feet. So I really like that. Got 2 drip filters. I'll probably just try one today. I'll probably just try the medium roast. I'll just have it straight. I won't have any sugar or milk, because the first time I try coffee, I like to just have it raw and see what it tastes like. I think it was Leah that recommended this, so thank you, Leah. Oh, why did I do that? For anyone who's wondering why I wear this so often, A, it's winter, so it's a really good neck warmer, and B, it acts as like a great cloth or towel or even a bandage in emergencies. Recently I was camping along a river for a week, and there was points at which you had to cross the river, and being winter, that was very, very painful. Icy water. And so whenever I got out of the water, I would use this as a mini towel to wipe myself down, and then it would actually keep my neck cool when I start walking and heating up again. It smells delicious. I'm imagining it's gonna have sort of a floral taste, perhaps. All right, let's see how this is. I'm not a very avid coffee drinker, so I don't really know how to describe the flavor for you. But it's definitely good. I'll put up that description of the flavor on screen for you though. Well, thanks for watching this far. I hope you enjoyed that more bushcraft theme video. I've been wanting to do that for so long, so it felt really good to finally get that done. Thank you, Leah, for that coffee suggestion. Anyways, I have to head off home and edit this video, so I'll see you in a weekend or two.